We're here with Jacques Ibula from the Congo. So Jacques, you're going to sing some songs for us, and we actually share something in common. I grew up in Nairobi, Kenya. Actually, my father ran safaris. Yeah, and I remember when I lived in Nairobi, the Africans were so friendly to me. We had a world where it was so different than the United States. They were living in huts. I remember the Maasai were living in these dung huts, but they were so happy to be. And I remember in the Masai Mara, it was the big savannah. It was the open savannah, and I remember remarking how powerful it was to be around this positive energy in a world that was so different than the United States, so hard to live in, no plumbing. I mean, how is that where you grew up, or how do you explain that?
I had an opportunity to actually experiment both. I'm from a traditional family, a family of Lundas. I'm a son of a Lunda, and so I come from a great family of chief, and so I had this experience of living in a countryside where I live in a hut or go visit my family. Also live in a city. My parents both are went to school here. My dad graduated from Boston University and went back home and had his nonprofit and did all kind of stuff, and he also teach. So the balance of the two worlds is there. And one of the things that I do recognize, yes, it is true, like Africans, we are really happy. But at the same time, because of the fact that when you know how to love, I think that you also know what it means to hurt somebody. So Africans tend also to be very angry. Therefore, you have the genocide and everything. But at the same time, we also know how to be sad. It's like we are in a great time of history where we're finding ourselves basically having an identity crisis. The happiness is somehow being kind of robbed in us entering decisions that will better serve us in tomorrow's world, in this place. You know, the world is changing. Corporations are taking over everywhere.
Yeah, I read about that in the Congo. I was surprised to find out that the Congo is the 11th largest country in the world, 71 million people.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is we sit here and we do our performances in San Francisco and we become more narcissistic when we play our music. And we live in this world, but it's so hard to realize there's a whole other world out there. 71 million people, 11th largest country in the world. 6 million people have died. And it's amazing how you play music to attract people to you, and at the same time you see these things happening and you feel compelled to talk about it, and it's a bittersweet thing.
Yeah.
So you sing songs, but you want to be happy, you want to be sad. How do you?
Well, I think that's when you just get inspired by the fact that yes, we are very happy people.
How are you happy?
Let me say it this way. Rather, if we've been taken advantage throughout history or not, Africans, and I don't think that's just a gift that is given to an African, and I think it's a given to those who appreciate nature, those who appreciate the earth as being your mother that take care of you, those who understand, like as an animist, we believe that everything is have the power of living. So we are to take care of it. We are steward of the land. We are steward of your neighbor's heart. And I think that in itself has been, for me personally, a place where I find a balance in conveying the message that not only we are happy, but we are also angry. But we are angry because we are expecting our brothers to rise and do the right thing, to step up on a plate. So all that mixed together with that joy, so it brings sweet music. Just like I say, living in Africa is like a song in itself.
And you're going to sing a few songs for us.
Yeah.
And the one thing I want to know, how did you make it from the Congo to here? And what is it like to be in San Francisco, this crazy world of drag queens and crazy cabaret performers who perform only really to get attention? I mean, I'm only doing this to get attention.
Well, you're getting a lot of attention tonight.
And then once I get the attention, then the question is, what do I do with it? I want to do something good with it. I want to justify why I'm here.
I think it's just two things that I've personally, from our own journey, come to realize. It's like life is the only redemptive act there is.
Yes, it sure is. And then I understand you're in a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And how did you get here? And you seem compelled to bring people back to the Congo to understand your plight, and you're singing for it.
I came here in '97, and one of the reason why I came here, it was to go back and help my folks with what they were doing already on the ground, and it was to have an opportunity to go to med school. But those dreams were suddenly interrupted due to instability that was happening back home, and so I ended up not doing that. And I was a chemistry major. In my senior year, I discovered music, and I would say probably earlier than that. But I think that music started growing stronger. And growing up, I was already showing sign of being an artist. My father, in fact, used to tell me, you don't want to be a painter, because if you do that, what are you going to do if you become an artist? You're going to just do music and do art in the street, and nobody's going to do anything.
He wanted you to make money.
Yeah. Or at least to be able to kind of bring help, because being a musician in Africa is different than being a musician, out of Africa. It takes a lot to really make things happen and to start making impact. And nobody think about a musician in Africa necessarily as somebody who's also a humanitarian in that sense. But I think that the true voice, the true religion that's still at this day for me personally is music and art. And I think that everybody will agree with me on that regard. It's like, but being in that place has so much responsibility. And that's why I say, well, at the end of the day, rather if I am a doctor or not, as long as I can sing, write, dream, the Congo will always be at my heart. And in part, that's why we came with my nonprofit organization came in. We started what we call Congo Bolingo, which means Congo Love. And my first EP album actually is on the iTunes right now on sale, and most of the proceeds most of it, 80% of it is going toward and supporting Congo Bolingo and the work that we're doing in the Congo.
So we're gonna listen to, you're gonna sing a song for us.
Yeah.
And and your CD, 80% of the proceeds go to the Congo Bolingo.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear the details, we actually have it on the radio show. We were crazy enough to actually try to have a radio show, a debut radio show right before this show, where you sang for us and you described more of the details, and we'll make that available on our Under the Golden Gate website. But in the meantime, you're going to sing for us, and we are going to partake in that. So,
all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, great, Jacques.